All right, in this video, we're gonna see is buying a rental property, specifically a multifamily rental property by the beach in Orange County, is that a wise and smart investment strategy? And should you do it? Hi, my name is Joey Finrow. I am a local real estate agent in Orange County, and I work with a handful of investors that buy and sell investment properties, mainly in Orange County and sometimes outside of Orange County. But today we're going to take a look at, is buying and having a rental property by the beach in the coast of Orange County, is that smart? Is it wise? Should you consider that? And is it for everybody? All right, so let's dive in. I would say, long story short, is it wise to buy a rental property by the beach? And I would say if you have the funds and if you have the capability of doing that, and likely this isn't your first purchase, but you have the cash, you're ready to go, and you want more of an appreciation play, then yes, buying by the beach near the coast is a very wise and smart and conservative investment decision for the long term. The problem why most people don't start there is because it generally takes a lot of capital, a lot of cash in order to buy an investment property down by the beach. Most people, as they're just starting to get into real estate investing, they're not looking to buy a $2, $3, or $4, $10 million investment property down by the beach. They might want to go more entry level and play a little bit safe and buy something a little bit smaller where everybody can afford to rent. And that's wise for people to do that. But for those of you who have a lot of cash on the sideline and you're not necessarily sure of where to put it, and even if it's your first one, or if you're a seasoned investor, real estate investor, and you have 20 years, maybe even longer of a play to play next, buying down by the beach in Orange County, coastal Orange County, is smart because number one, they're not making any more beach properties, beach investment properties in Orange County. Virtually all the land is built upon. That's number one. So you have the supply and demand. Also, properties and rental properties down by the beach are always going to be in demand because you're down by the beach, right? That's one of the reasons why people come to vacation and live here in Orange County, is not only the weather, but the beaches as well. So you have those two things, and you have more options in renting. You might be able to do some short-term rental if the city allows it, or if that location where you're buying allows it. It's like buying gold and letting it sit, or a rare gold coin, and letting it sit on the sideline, and you know it's going to appreciate over time. And so is coastal Orange County. Again, just the problem is the barrier to entry is pretty high to get in, versus maybe buying in like Santa Ana or La Habra, Points of La Habra, or Anaheim. The barrier to entry in those locations in North Orange County, where they tend to be cheaper, is a little bit lower. But let's say I just sold 3 units in San Clemente very recently, and that property was a little over $2 million. It was a complete gut job. This property needed to be fully renovated. If it was fully renovated, this 3 units would be in the high $2 millions, like 2.7 there if it's fully renovated. But my investors, they are seasoned. This wasn't their first purchase. They actually own several in San Clemente, and so they know the location. They know they're paying a little bit higher of a price for a triplex, especially of this size, because it's by the beach, if you will. But they're looking for a property that needs some value to be added. All the tenants were long-term tenants. One of them was there over 20 years. And so my clients had to come in after they purchased it and then not renew any of the tenants' leases because they were all on month to month. So we had to work through getting them out and helping them find other properties that fit their need a little bit better. And then working with the city and getting permits and approvals on fully renovating the entire property. All 3 units needed to be completely scraped, to be honest. But in this location in San Clemente was a really good location because it was walking distance to Del Mar Street, also walking distance to the beach. And this location, if they wanted to turn one or two of them into an Airbnb, they could, but they're more of the long-term rental strategy. So all the tenants so far are going to be long-term rental. But this is a classic beach location where you can walk to food and shopping, walk to the beach. There was plenty of parking. One of the units had an ocean view, but this was just a very safe investment and a strong appreciation play if you're thinking long term. Now, the monthly cash flow at the very beginning is going to be less than if you would buy in Anaheim or North Orange County, where it tends to be a little bit more cash flow dominant. But buying down by the beach is wise and smart for investors that are either seasoned investors and or have a lot of cash on the sideline, and they're willing to pay the price to put 30-40% down on 2 million to 5 or 10 million, depending on how many units you're looking for. The beach is always going to be in demand. The ocean's not going anywhere that I know of, and people in Californians and people in Orange County and people around the world that come to vacation here, they're always going to want to travel and stay near the beach if the housing is available. And so for all those reasons, I think it's wise for people to consider buying an investment property down by the beach. I don't think it's wise for people that are just starting out and are barely scraping the down payment together. If you have no room for anything to go wrong as far as in the budget and a margin for your budget, then I definitely would not consider buying down by the beach. A lot of investors tend to start somewhere else, and if they're open to the appreciation play, they then exchange down to the beach. Not everybody does. It's not for everybody. You're going to meet investors that are going to be very opinionated on their way of investing in the real estate. So you're going to hear people say, never buy down by the beach. And you're going to hear people say, only buy down by the beach. And you're going to also hear people say, you only do long-term rentals or you only do short-term rentals. And that's fine. People are going to have their opinions. It just depends on what's right for you. And it could be a combination of all these things. I definitely think buying down by the beach is not right for people that are just starting out and they have no room in the budget. They can't put 20 or 30% down of $2 or $3 million. And so for those type of investors, I would recommend starting away from the beach. If that is part of your investment strategy in the future, you can get there. That's the great thing about buying a rental real estate or just real estate as a whole, is that how you start matters, and that though that you do start matters, because being in Orange County, it's not common to your first property is a $5 million property or a $2 million property. Normally you're making a couple purchases before that help catapult you to where you want to go. And so let's say you want to buy a 3-unit apartment building in San Clemente right now, but you don't have $400,000 or $500,000 for the down payment. Start with a single family home or a duplex in North Orange County that might be $1 million or 900 or 1.1. Now, I have numbers put together of this triplex in San Clemente. If you want to see an analysis of that property that I recently sold and want to compare it and see if that's something that you want to purchase sometime in the future, leave a comment below and I'm happy to send that to you. For more videos like this, subscribe, comment, and share. Again, my name is Joey Finrow. I'm a local real estate agent in Orange County. Thank you for watching this video.